It's time for the Ravagers to rise once again to glory!
You are listening to The Ravager Report, a Fox Next Marvel Strike Force podcast dedicated to bringing you the latest news, information, and updates. With your hosts, Dorian.
It is a name what strikes fear into the hearts of anyone what hears it!
And Hebrew Hammer.
I'm very poppin', y'all!
Hello and welcome to episode 58 of the Ravager Report. I am, as always, your host, Dorian Blade. Wow, I'm Hebrew Hammer tonight. And with me, as always, is the heuristic Hebrew Hammer. Hebrew, how you doing tonight, buddy?
I am doing pretty good. Have a little case of deja vu. But yeah, everything's good on my end. What about you?
I'm doing really good. Trying to figure out, there seems to be some type of issue with Twitch. It may wind up just having to cancel it, unfortunately. I'm seeing the kilobyte rate going up and down and back and forth. So we'll keep an eye on it and see how it goes. As long as it doesn't interfere with the recording or with Discord. So Hebrew. So this is what, take 2 for us today. Trying to figure out some of the issues that have been going on. So I know you did it last time, but I'm going to ask you again. Can you let everybody know what you've done the past week?
Yeah, this will be a slightly shorter version, but basically just been getting ready for Christmas. Not doing Hanukkah. We used to do Hanukkah, don't anymore because all my Jewish family and friends kind of have moved away from where we are. So I used to be able to do both Christmas and Hanukkah, but now it's just Christmas. So doing that and just, wrapping presents, doing the normal stuff. In the game, I have been on my grind, trying to get things done. I just did the Blitz and got top 5%. It was like 4.8 million, I think. And so it made me blitz a little bit more. I'm enjoying the new tiers, all that kind of stuff. What about you?
Finishing up my last week of work before going on 2 weeks of vacation, so that's nice. Man, what did I do this past week? Went and saw Rise of Skywalker on Saturday morning, which was fantastic. Highly enjoyable. Really enjoyed the movie. In fact, I think you and I are going to try to do a review podcast about it, aren't we?
Yeah, that's right. I forgot to mention that part from the first version of this we had. But I saw Star Wars. So did you. Planning on starting back up my movie review podcast since I have a little bit more time now since a lot of other things for Alternate are on autopilot. So plan on trying to do that. And I extended the hand for you to come on and do the Star Wars one for me because I know you and I both have typically strong feelings for Star Wars, so that would be an interesting one.
Right. Yes. FYI, anybody that is listening or was watching on Twitch, I've had to kill the Twitch stream for some reason. It just will not connect. OBS seems to be throwing a small fit. In fact, it won't even shut down properly. So I do apologize for the fact that there's no video this week. Still trying to work some things out there and see what's going on. Otherwise, let's see. Yesterday I put up some stained glass covering over some windows in the bathroom. So that's nice. Allison, my wife, couldn't handle the blinds anymore because the dust was killing her.
Mm-hmm.
So I wound up having to remove the blinds, and we put up some kind of a stained glass covering layer to it.
Mm-hmm.
And that wound up it's nice. It looks really nice.
You know what you should do? You should invest in those new IKEA smart blinds. Would help out with all the dust. Just saying.
Yeah, maybe, man. But it's IKEA, so
Ain't nothing wrong with IKEA. Do
No,
not
no,
sit
no,
there
no.
and
It's not the
trash
IKEA
IKEA.
quality. No, 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 no. Let me make sure you understand. It's the fact that you've got to put every little tiny thing together. I'm surprised I don't have to shave my own dowels to like build the furniture.
You are breaking up hardcore. I didn't hear anything that you just said.
I have no idea what's going on. My internet looks good. This is just crazy.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the deal is.
Well, that's fine because I'm recording locally, so I can hear me. So as long as I can hear me and you
That,
don't break up, we're fine. It's when you
yeah,
break up
that's
that's a
what's most
problem.
important.
It's when you
Yeah,
break up
true.
that's going to be a problem because I'm recording everything locally. So and voice is connected. So if you guys start having voice problems on Twitch, please let me know as soon as possible. I am seeing some yellow. I am in streamer mode, right? I didn't enable. Oh, hey, let's put streamer mode back on. That might help a little bit. We'll have to see how that works. But in game this week, this is a really disjointed intro, guys. I am so sorry. Um, so in game this week, I worked on. Oh, hey, we can do this. Sorry, hold on.
What happened?
Nothing. I'm trying something. Okay. So I'm hoping that this picks up my webcam. That's kind of what I'm trying to do here. No, I feel like I'm. Oh, that looks really weird.
Pretty sure the stream is killed.
Yeah, I
Sorry,
think
it's on the chat.
the Twitch stream is dead. I'm trying to figure out because like on Discord you're supposed to be able to do like yourself, right? So I figured I would at least try to figure out how to get video on here because video's here. I just can't figure out why I can't broadcast the video. So it's a little weird. I'm not sure exactly what's going on.
I think we should just do it just normal.
Yeah,
that
we're just
way.
doing it. We're just doing it normal at this point. So, all right. Let's see. So in game, I got like you and I talked. I think I hit like 4.1 million in blitz. I took Saturday off, which got me top 5%, which isn't bad. I mean, I'm happy to have gotten that. We'll have to see what the second blitz is coming through. And we've got a few things to talk about, obviously, with some new blitz stuff coming this week, which is really nice. Other than that, not a whole lot's going on. I'm on vacation the next week and a half, which is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
So that's always highly enjoyable. So, Hebrew, let's get into something that we haven't done in a couple of weeks. And I think is going to be rather enjoyable. So, as though some of you may or may not know, we have a new survey master, and our new survey master has put out his first survey. So, the episode 58 survey, and Hebrew, let's jump right into this, shall we?
Let's do it.
All right. So first, we're going to cover some blitz changes. So what do you think of the changes to the blitz tiers? Do you think they're great, they're good, hasn't made a difference, or there were changes made?
I definitely think it was good. I think it was. I think it's not great, but yeah, it is. It is definitely good. It's in the right direction. At least they've decided that making changes is okay to this. We've seen a couple so far. They seem to be getting better each time, so I'm just hoping that eventually they'll get the recipe right in the future. But this is a good step.
Yeah, I do think that it is going to it is going in the right direction. But as we talked in the past, I don't want to give them credit for doing things only halfway. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do. I do know what you mean.
So, I do think it's good. Could have been better. But yeah, it's a start. It's a step in the right direction. For those of you that are keeping score at home, we did get 131 responses to this survey, so thank you very much. It's one of our highest survey responses yet, probably because I'm not doing it. So, hey, there we go. Of all the respondents, 81 said it was good, could be better. 33 said it hasn't made a difference, which I can kind of see. I mean, sure, they broke out and added the 2 extra tiers, and they added some extra shards for those 2 tiers, but scores are pretty much going to stay the same or go up. So, it's not really making a huge difference to Blitz in and of itself, because we're all still in the same pool. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Exactly.
9 people said there were changes made, and 8 thought it was great. Hebrew, the next question is, have those tier changes encouraged you to engage more in Blitz? Yes, no, or I only ever do milestones?
I would say yes, but only under the right circumstances. I have to have someone that I really want, for any Asgardian, I will, or basically anyone that involves any team that I'm really shooting for. I'll do it. I'm more inclined to do it now because of the Blitz tier, but yeah, that's about it. So I would say so.
Yeah, I think I initially answered no to this, but I may have to readjust that because, like for Sif, right? I saw the Blitz predictions and I was like, the high end was 4 million for the 5%, so I pushed a little beyond 4 to get into the 5%. So I did do a little bit more than what I would normally do, just to get out of the 6 to 10% into the 2 to 5.
Right.
So I guess in a way, my answer to that one is going to be yes. That it has encouraged. I don't know if I like the word encouraged. I feel like it's forced you to engage more. But
maybe
for those people that complain about my negativity, which can be fair at times, I understand. I have a lot of deep-seated mistrust for this game. Based off of the nearly 2 years I've put into it, plus the extensive behind the scenes look that I got into what they think and why they do some things, or
which that would make anyone a cynic.
So take my negativity with a huge grain of salt as someone who is extremely jaded towards the motivations behind why they do what they do in this game.
Right.
Let's see. So respondents here. 72 people said that no, the tier changes have not encouraged them to engage more in Blitz. 39 said yes, and 20 said they only ever do the milestones. Which is valid, but I would tell you if you're doing the milestones, it doesn't take much more to get into the 6 to 10%. The milestones will never get you that 6 to 10. The scores are just going to, unfortunately, I think are going to keep going up, because that is actually our next question was, how do you think these changes will affect the Blitz scores? They'll go up, they'll remain the same, they'll go down, or I don't care about Blitz.
I think that they might go up a little bit. Like I'm not 100% sure on this. It's just speculation right now, but figure out the answer soon. But I think it'll probably go up a little bit.
Yeah, see, I only think it's really going to affect the 2 to 5% and the 6 to 10% ranges, because it used to be the 2 to 10%, right? And that was kind of a baseline. It might be 2.5 million or so, 2 to 2.5 million to break that top 10%. But now that we've got the 2 to 5, and it's only maybe a million or two above the 6 to 10, people feel that they can push it. And as more people push it, the numbers for that are going to go higher to break, to break into that. I don't think it's going to have any change to the top 2,000 or the top 2%. I think that those numbers, and the top 2% maybe, but the top 2,000, I really don't see it changing a whole lot. I don't think it's going to change a lot at the top end. I think it's going to affect the lower end more, which may very well have been by design, because top end blitzers are already going to top end every time. right? That's just what they do. They either forego everything in life, or they pay somebody to do it in another country. And I'm not being cynical. That's an actual thing.
Yeah.
So, this is going to affect more at the low end, the middle end.
I would agree. Yeah, it looks like a little more promising and a little more enticing to participate now that they've changed it up more so on the low end. There's not really too much of a difference on the top end.
Yeah. Let's see. So, 68 people said the scores will go up. 48 said the scores will remain the same. 12 said they don't care, and 3 said the score will go down. And our trolls are back. Yay, missed you guys. And then the second question, or the last question for blitzes is, do you think the changes made to the second Mr. Sinister blitz should be permanent?
Hands down, yes.
I agree, hands down, because especially if for characters that are going to be non-farmable, you're really just locking people in to like Colossus and not being able to farm them, or being stuck with subpar, and especially if you look at the fact that we've got Black Bolt coming. We need the Asgardians to unlock Black Bolt, and if Sif is only going to be available via Blitz and is not going to be farmable, spoiler, I don't think she will be, or I think she will be farmable. Then we need better Blitz mechanics. The Blitz rewards are just, yes, they reward the higher end, but because they're not farmable, it just becomes a nightmare. So I think the second Blitz makes things better. I think that it's more engaging for the free to play community to do that, and is much more community friendly than anything else.
Here's my question: do you think that they will make that permanent?
No chance. I think there's a less than 0% chance. I think that was only because Sinister was a 100 shard unlock, which I feel kind of, I'm like,
yeah,
you guys released 100 shard unlock into Blitz. Did you really think this through? I doubt it.
No, they didn't.
I really doubt it. They're not that forward thinking. So the respondents here are, let's see, 99 people said yes, 25 said that doesn't bother them, and 6 said no. Next, we're going to move on and talk about some Asgardians here. So, Hebrew, did you like the reworks to Thor and Loki? Yes, no, or has it made a great deal of difference?
I said yes for sure. Thor's a monster now.
Oh, Thor is a monster. I agree with you 110% here. I think these reworks were fantastic. I think that it was really kind of what it was needed. And it's one of those things that, especially with the new Asgardians and the mechanics in there, especially with Hela and Thor combined are just an absolute nightmare. Because, you kill one of those undead Asgardians, and she's summoning another one and feeding Thor.
Yeah.
So
Loki synergizes perfectly with them too, because if you don't have the burst to knock Hela down immediately, which she becomes a massive problem, then Loki's just going to be able to make everyone invisible, and it's going to prolong the pain that you will receive.
Yes.
So
now remember though, Loki's mirror images are not Asgardians, so they don't affect Thor. They don't funnel or feed into Thor, but they do make, obviously, they give Thor more time to charge up, and that can be a bad thing.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. And I mean, everyone on that team is incredibly dangerous, like the longer they live, basically.
Yeah.
So having that prolonged effect of once Loki gets off his ult, you're like, shit, this is going to be a while now. And it makes things a lot more dangerous. So I'm a fan of playing them. Is a lot of fun. Playing against them feels really dangerous, which I kind of like.
Yeah.
So I'm just a fan of that team all around. I think they did a really good job. And I will say, to their credit, like, I want to say every rework I've seen them do so far has been very good. I can't think of a rework that they've done so far that I'm like, I didn't like this change.
Yeah, nothing really jumps out to me. Ultimus feels a little disappointing, but I
I don't think
mean,
that was like
I don't know if that
that's
was
not going to
just
be
like a
like his
touch up
rework.
or
Yeah, that was I would like I wouldn't call it a touch. I think would call it a brush. Like it was just like they barely did anything. I think he's going to be getting something fairly soon. This is total speculation, obviously, but I think that he's probably going to be getting like an actual rework pretty soon because for the type of character he is and how difficult he is to get, um, I think that he needs to be, one of the monstrous characters in this game. I mean, the whole game's about him.
right. The whole game's about
Like
him. He should be the big bad.
exactly. He should be a monster, but he's basically useless right now.
Yeah, very much so. Um, so let's see. 116 people said yes. 13 said it hasn't made a difference, and one said no. There's a master troll right there.
Yeah, and to those people that said um, doesn't bother me, I would say you're not doing it right.
Yeah, or hasn't made a great deal of difference, or they just haven't really had a chance to go in on the Asgardians.
Yeah, I agree.
So I'm hoping to be able to show something, and we've got a war tonight. Maybe I'll get lucky and find an Asgardian team out there. In our last war, it was a alliance v alliance, so it was within our cluster, and I was able to go up against I can't remember if they were boosted or unboosted Asgardian team with my Sen 6, and I punched up like 40k, and I took out Hela and Loki.
Really?
So yeah, I've got to get some video evidence of this though, because as of right now, it's just me talking.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I mean that's fair enough. At least that's something. People will probably try that now.
I hope. I keep trying to tell people. Well, see, but other people have tried it and not had success. So
Oh,
I
okay.
don't know what. I don't know. Somebody says maybe they went into it first and got rid of their alts. I don't think so, but maybe. I'll have to. I'm gonna record it next time though. That I get a chance and try it out because in Blitz it sounds good in theory, but a lot of the Asgardian stuff happens on war defense. So war is really the best place, the only place to really test that out.
Yeah, I really wish that they had a. Sorry, excuse me. I really wish that they had a like friendly PvP mode. A lot of games have a way that you can challenge people within your own clan to a match. I really wish that they had something like that. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, a sandbox mode would be fantastic.
Yeah, just want to like bring up comps against each other and figure things out a little bit more. That'd be awesome.
That would be absolutely fantastic. As a reminder, guys, if you want to do a call in, don't hesitate to let us know. Just post in the call in request line, and we will get you on the show to ask your questions and talk with the host for a few minutes. So, let's see. Okay, so Hebrew, next question. Who do you think is the best new Asgardian? Heimdall, Hela, Sif, or all are pretty similar in power?
I am surprised that there's even a different answer to this that people have picked other than Hela. So yeah, Hela is for sure. I don't think there's any other way that you can see it. She is very, very good, and she is the best addition to the Asgardians for sure.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I don't think there's any answer other than Hela. I mean, she's just far and away the best. I mean, she does so much damage. She calls in that extra Asgardian, and then Greg goes and blows up and feeds Thor, and it's just she's kind of the engine that keeps that team running.
Yeah, exactly.
So 114 people did say Hela. 10 said all seem pretty similar in power, and 6 said Heimdall, while 1 said Sif. I don't want to leave Sif out. 1 said Sif.
Right.
With the failure of the Heimdall event, do you feel the 35 shards was a fair compensation? Yes, no, or don't care?
It's a toughie. I would say, yeah, I would say that's fair. my question is, because I don't think I ever had this answered, but did the people who had already started it before it went down, did they get a reset and keep their shards?
That I don't know. I would hope not. Um,
I would hope not too. I mean, I that would affect my answer here. So, assuming everyone started from where they were, be it, haven't started yet or whatever node they were on, and you got 35 shards, everyone got a flat 35 shards, I would say good.
yeah,
That's fair enough.
I'm getting responses in chat that it picked up where it left off.
Okay, that's good. So then, yeah, if that's the case, I'd say 35 shards is fair enough. Yeah.
So Machako says it picked up where it left off. Darkwing said that he finished it and it did not get a reset. So did Flip. Finish it before they turned down and it stayed the same when it came back up. So, yeah.
Hey, Muggin's in the audience.
Muggin's in the audience. Muggin is in the audience. What's up, Muggs? Get to work. Man, I'm on vacation this week. I don't know what your problem is. Yeah, I agree with you. I think the 35 shards is very fair. And I'm going to give them a lot of kudos here. What they're doing with this event is absolutely fantastic. So not only did they give us the 35 shards, but when it came back up, it was up for an extra 5 days. And then they've had that.
That's true.
That bonus energy that was running this weekend where you could get all that bonus energy for like 175 cores. That was not just campaign energy, but also Heimdall event energy that did not trigger towards your normal 50 core. I mean, the amount of shards that you can wind up getting really feels good. I really give Foxnex kudos for doing the right thing here.
I will agree with that for sure. Whenever you think about it, with all of those additions, I mean, they would have had the energy ones, I would imagine, regardless. But the extra days included with the 35 shards, I would say that makes it feel a lot better. Yeah. So
yeah.
They definitely did a good job on this one. You're right.
Yep. This was a really good make do or make good, really good make good. So 80 people said yes. They think that it was fair compensation. 44 said no, and 7 don't care.
Yeah.
So do you like that these characters will be used to unlock Black Bolt? Yes, no, or it depends on if Foxnext makes them farmable.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely like the fact that it'll unlock Black Bolt because they're one of my new favorite teams. So
right.
I've been farming them for a while. So yeah, I'm a big fan that I'll actually be able to get this one, I think.
I am, but only if they're farmable. I think it depends if they're farmable. If they're not farmable, then no, I don't like it. And I'm going to go back to saying that's just bad. And they're basically saying, well, only the whales are going to be able to counter Ultron.
Right.
So, and I while I understand that philosophy, I think it should be more of only the whales should be able to get a 7-star that can counter Ultron. Whereas the rest of us should at least have a chance to get a 5-star.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
I wonder. I'm sorry, I always do this, but I just remember the good old days of like at the beginning of this where we got like a 7-star Thanos or something at the beginning, didn't we? Like, or at least a 6-star or something like that. We always got a ridiculous.
It wasn't a 7-star for a long time. I can't remember if it was
or maybe
Deadpool
it wasn't,
or Thanos.
Maybe it wasn't. I don't remember. Whatever. But I remember we very quickly were able to get characters to a very high level that were in events very quickly.
Yeah.
Compared to what it is now. So I feel like I'm always just going to be like a little bit more spoiled than other people that have joined after that because that was such a short time period compared to how it's been for like a long time now.
Oh yeah,
I feel like no matter what,
I'm always really bad recently.
Yeah, so yeah, I just think it's always funny to compare back to that. Anyways, ignore me. Keep going.
I usually do.
Nostalgia.
Yeah. So 103 people agreed that it depends on whether or not they're made farmable. 15 said no, and 13 said yes. Next, and here's kind of the all-important question, especially for people like you and me. If the Asgardians are only available from spending money, will you be buying them to get Black Bolt? I think I know your answer.
No.
I already know mine.
My answer is no. Yeah.
Yeah. You said a
I'm
long
assuming
time ago
yours is
you're
a
done
no
selling.
too.
Correct.
Yeah.
I think I'm done
Okay,
spending money on mobile gaming. I think I'm just flat
Really?
out done spending money on mobile gaming. Yeah. I've been getting into Magic the Gathering.
Mm-hmm.
I would much rather spend my money there. The possibilities are more endless, and I have a lot more fun. And it's all theory crafting, and the only randomness is from basically playing a deck of cards.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just one of those things. Like like you said, I swore off spending on this game a long time ago, and I do not intend to break that promise ever. Um, and they used to get like a fair bit of money from me, but yeah, it's just one of those things where mobile gaming right now is like pretty bad as far as value is concerned. So, I'm not inclined to spend like a whole bunch of money. I'm definitely far more discerning about mobile game spending after MSF
Oh
because
yeah.
just how quickly I can see how things, or I should say, value for things fall downhill so quickly.
Yeah,
Um,
it's funny because even in Dragon Champions, like I pay for the monthly sub, but I don't
mhm.
know if I'm gonna do it again.
Yeah,
I don't know, and I'm
yeah,
not
it's
sure. I'm
just
not
one
sure
of
where
those
that game's
things.
going right now. So
Yeah,
it seems to have fallen off a cliff, unfortunately. So I think the devs tried to
right.
do too much too fast, and it pushed a lot of people out. But
I mean, that's mobile gaming now, so
that
it's
is mobile
unfortunate.
gaming. It is mobile gaming. So let's see. Uh, 112 people responded and also said no. 7 said yes, but only for a specific character, not for Black Bolt. And then 11 said yes.
That right.
And then finally, the final question here: when unlocking characters, what is your preferred farming method? Blitzes, raid rewards, campaign nodes, RNG store, static stores, or I would rather just pay the money and buy the characters.
Um, Campaign nodes for sure, just because I feel like I can get the most out of it. I would say it's
Yeah,
either gonna
I
be that or static stores.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I kind of like the raid rewards, but as long as it's not locked behind 100% of an impossible raid, or they're not forcing 24 people to raid every 2 hours over a 12-hour period or something like that. I mean, do you remember when they did that
Mhm.
with Deadpool? That was horrible.
That was.
That was a
I will
nightmare.
still say. I will still say one of the funnest time periods I've had in this game because my alliance was one of the few alliances that was able to do it, but incredibly unfair to the player base for
Oh
sure.
yeah,
Like
because you had to be
so
on
unfair.
immediately at the start.
And the time zones made
And
everything fucked up. It was bad.
yep, it was really
Yeah.
horrible, really horrible. There's a
But
squelcher, by the way.
I maintain that I still had a lot of fun with that event
And
personally.
I can see that, right? Because it does bring kind of the alliance together. But and I'm glad they realized just it was unsustainable,
Yeah, me too. We never saw them repeat that again, thank God.
right? So
Hmm.
I'm kind of more the raid rewards, but I like the campaign nodes as well. Um, so 51 people did say campaign nodes. 40 said static stores. 29 said raid rewards. 6 said an RNG store such as raid or war. 3 said blitzes. And 2 said they would rather just spend the money and buy the characters.
Yeah.
Next, we are going to get into the Dread, the Darkness, and we do have somebody has requested, to talk to us about Dread, the Darkness. And so once we get through this survey, which is the last section we've got, we're going to bring on a caller that wants to kind of talk about the Dark Dimension.
Yeah, sure.
So, Hebrew, are you excited about the new Dark Dimension? Yes, no, or not bothered?
Not bothered, I guess, because I'm literally just not caring about it, but its implementation is incredibly bad. I just want to say that right now. It's
I
so
agree with you.
bad it makes no sense.
I agree with you 100%. I'm in the know, because I've realized that it's going to be probably a year before I'll have any type of chance of getting into it because I'm not spending money on this.
Right.
So I know they changed up some of the orb rewards, which I'm not a huge fan of because I think they diluted the pool a little bit. I've got to do a little bit more research, but I think they changed up the orange unique orbs in war. So the war orbs
Hmm.
give you superior uniques as well as the new unique stuff. So they actually kind of diluted it a bit.
Right.
And if you're not 100%ing the Greek raids, then you're not getting the orange unique orbs. So I don't know. I really feel that the Dark Dimension 3 is being mishandled. I think the requirements to go into it are way too steep. And honestly, I'm probably not bothered to focus on it, especially for the rewards that have been listed. If the rewards have been listed or what it actually will be, I just don't ever care.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure.
Because the problem with the Dark Dimension 3 is some of the counter arguments, which I get, is people say, well, you're going to want to get people to G14 anyway. Well, yeah, but I'm going to want to get my people to G14 that I care about, not the forced 15 that I have to get into for this. So, because if you don't have the specific 15 characters that you need to do this node, then you just aren't going to be able to do it. So, yeah, I'm not super thrilled with this. I think trait nodes are just lazy. It's just super lazy.
Yeah, it's just it almost seems like an arbitrary way to gate
Yep,
people.
yep. Don't make it fun and engaging. Just make it a sluggish nightmare. Man, we thought getting to DD2 was the Baton Death March. This is the Baton Death March.
Just wait till DD4.
Oh my gosh. Not only will you have to have, level 80 G15 characters, but you'll need 20 of them all at 6 red stars.
I think you're gonna need Hydra at 7 red stars. Everyone
No, not
without
Hydra at 7 red
rework.
stars because we all know that, we get higher drop rates on Hydra for red stars.
Oh yeah, it's true. Sure does seem that way.
So 63 people said no, 36 said yes, and 32 said not bothered. So Hebrew, I think we might have already answered this one. But do you like the requirements for the DD3? Yes,
Yeah,
no, or
absolutely
totally
not.
unreasonable?
Totally unreasonable. And if anyone tells me differently, I like you're wrong. Just straight up. There's a few times when I will just say you are wrong, period. But this is one of those times. This is
No, no.
unreasonable to the player base.
The proper response is I could agree with you, but then we'd both be wrong.
There you go.
Yeah, I think it's totally unreasonable to require G14, especially when you've got what is it 145 uniques that you need per character. Oh,
Yeah.
no. So 70 said no, 47 said totally unreasonable, and 14 said yes. Our trolls are multiplying.
They are.
Let's see. For the last 4 nodes, you need city characters. What can FoxNext do to fix the serious lack of city character power? Rework the city team characters we have, release a new city team design for raids, change this to a more friendly player requirement, or all of the above.
Yeah, I like the all of the above option.
I also like all the above, especially the change this to a more player friendly requirement. But I'm wondering if people are sleeping on. I wouldn't be surprised to see Hand get a rework because they're city. And
Say that one
had
more time. I,
I wouldn't be
I couldn't hear you because you were breaking up a little bit.
I said I wouldn't be surprised to see Hand get a rework.
Yeah, same. I hope so.
They are a city. We've had to use them in that stupid relic hunt. And they're just not worth the investment. Although we do know that Black Bolt was intended to completely counter Nobu, but do you
True.
know back in the day he was just massive.
Yeah.
But I I wonder though. I want to see what Sin 6 can do at higher levels. I'm kind of getting hyped on Sinister 6 recently because I think they have a lot of capabilities, and I've seen them do some massive work at higher power. So I think it's going to be interesting to see because they are so bursty, and they can do so much so quickly. But as we all know, the Dark Dimension nodes are typically more about sustain. So
Exactly.
we'll definitely see what they're going to wind up having to do. Uh, so 73 people said all of the above. 35 said rework the city teams. 14 said change it to a more player-friendly requirement. And 8 said release a new city team designed for raids. Next, Hebrew, what do you think is going to be the biggest bottleneck for getting into DD3? Unique items, the mini uniques, gold, the T4 ability max, or the whole economy is out of whack?
I put the whole economy's out of whack.
I
Like
did
all
too.
of it's ridiculous. Yeah,
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, the whole economy is completely out of whack because this thing is just crazy. Um, it
There's just legitimately no way to justify it.
Well, I mean, come on, look, go back and listen to the Jason Bender interview where he just says, "Oh yeah, we guess at the economy. We just guess.
Yeah, that's right.
If it looks like people want more of this, then we kind of lower it down,
Hmm.
to try to gate things. And it's just like, come on, man, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
So that is, I just think that it's what they just don't know what they're doing with the economy, or they don't care, and they're just throwing darts at a wall. So 74 people did also say the economy is out of whack. 41 said the mini uniques, which are going to be a completely horrible item to get. 6 said the unique items. 8 said gold, and 2 said the T4 ability mats. There was a data mine for the DD3 rewards seen in the picture below. What do you think of the rewards for completing the nodes? Great, good could be better, okay, poor, or a serious letdown?
So on this one, I put a serious letdown.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
was pretty upsetting.
that was I was like, man, the ROI for that is just dumb.
Yeah, exactly.
So there may be more coming. Data mines always, with the caveat of, hey, these things are subject to change or they'll never occur. Red stars in Blitz store. That it's something you got to take with a huge grain of salt. But 57 people agreed that they were a serious letdown. Then we had some pretty even splits here. So 24 people said good but could be better. I'd like to see you make that argument. 24 said okay. I'd also like to see you make that argument. 21 said poor, and 4 said great. Okay.
Well, I think personally, with the requirements the way they are and what we've seen so far, like what we've gotten as rewards so far, I think it's going to be these and a character that's either going to be Cyclops or most likely, in my opinion, Doctor Doom. So,
yeah. Let's see. Would you like the reward to be Doctor Doom? Yes, no, or not fussed as long as he is uber powerful?
I would say yeah. I think that whoever it is for sure should at least be uber powerful. But I would like it to be Doctor Doom because I think that makes a lot of sense to me.
I mean, maybe. I almost feel like Dormammu makes a little bit more sense, but I can see Doctor Doom making some sense.
I would say Dormammu too. I think Doctor Doom only because we've seen his in-game character model and stuff like that. So we've talked about this a couple of times before, but that's the reason why I think. But I think Dormammu is for sure. I mean, any like real big bad guy that's always been in Marvel that has really been a huge enemy character for a lot of it, I would say is worthy of being a Dark Dimension character reward. But they do need to make him very powerful because of it.
Yeah. So 77 people said yes. 38 said they're not fussed as long as he's uber powerful. And 15 said no. And I'm kind of in that not fussed category.
Mhm.
If it's Doctor Doom, great. If it's not, fine. As long as it's somebody that makes it worth it.
Yeah, I agree.
And I'm not sure if I agree kind of with the uber powerful bit. As long as it's character that makes it worth it. So
Right.
and then our final thing here is, if you could choose your reward for DD3, which would you prefer? And this was a write-in. So 52 said Doctor Doom. 33 said Apocalypse. I'm not going to read through all these. I just go through the top ones here. 10 said Dormammu. 13 said Galactus, which I also think would be pretty cool. Some honorable mentions. Let's see. Odin. Silver Surfer, Professor X, Sentinel, Galactus. Sean Connery. Sean Connery gets in here.
That'd be a good one.
Emma Frost, so the fanboys will stop spamming Facebook. Let's see. Cyclops, because it seems to be the only way we'll get him. I'm fine with the current rewards. Why does it have to be a character? Because the current rewards are pretty bad. Silver Surfer, who I would absolutely love to see come in there. Batman, Val Kilmer nipple suit. Wait,
You forgot one of them. Starts with a G.
The G. Galactus?
Gambit.
Galactus. Oh, Gambit. Gambit's in there because Gambit only got like one vote. Gambit's not powerful enough to be in there.
That's all he needs. Pre-partial lobotomy Gambit, I would 100% take, and I think that he is deserving of a Dark Dimension reward for sure. Pre-partial lobotomy, he destroys everything. Period.
Yeah, maybe. We'll have to see. We will have to see. Okay. So now we are going to jump over to the call-in line, and Ixon, are you there?
Yes,
Hey.
I am.
All right,
Thank
welcome.
Thank you very much for letting me on the show. Very appreciated.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, no
Glad
problem.
to have you here. So you wanted to talk about the Dark Dimension 3, when players should focus, rewards, farm, and so on. So did you have anything that you wanted to add to the survey that we just kind of went over for the Dark Dimension 3?
Not really, since I responded to the survey on the site. So I'm kind of happy with it, how it went. So, but the thing that I want to talk about in the DD3 is it feels like the players are freaking out, even players that haven't even got Ultron yet. And
Right.
I think it's people doesn't know, or players doesn't know when to start focus on him. I am at the moment at 2.8 million TCP, and I've been playing for around 420 days ish. And I'm not even thinking about it. I'm not worried about it, to be honest.
Yeah, you shouldn't
because
be.
it's so expensive. No, it's so expensive, and the farming and the how do you say, the bottlenecks is ridiculous at the moment. And I would rather, as I do right now, I'm still leveling up characters for my U7 and some war characters or teams. So my question for you guys is, when do you think the play should even start to considering gearing up or farming for DD3?
That's a really good question here, and I'm gonna mute you back off here while we talk about it. So, Hebrew, what do you think? When should people start looking at DD3? When should they start worrying about focusing on that?
So I'm of the same mind as Ixon. I personally think that this is going to be a long road, and I think that they designed it like that because people started beating both of the Dark Dimensions very quickly whenever they came out, or at least fairly quickly. Ultron took a little bit longer, but I think that they want this one to be a really long road so they don't have to design another Dark Dimension that quickly. So this is something that you just like really shouldn't worry about. The things that you need are so unrealistic to us right now that this shouldn't even be on your roadmap unless you are, top 1% player. Those people are probably freaking out about it, and that's fine with me. But I'm literally like, I am not even looking to start farming these particular characters that I need unless they're on my roadmap for the immediate stuff, like for, U7 and everything like that. So, not much to say for on my end for this one, except that, just take it as it comes. Way later in the future from now, whenever things are naturally becoming more realistic to the goals needed, then you can start looking at it. But it's not going to be for a long while.
Yeah, I think to an extent I agree with you, but there are a couple of caveats that I would throw into this. Number one, you should be buying every one of the mini uniques that you come across without exception. You're going to need so many of those that the sooner you can start with them, the better. I know they're not cheap gold wise, and gold is such a precious commodity that it can be hard to justify. But when you can minimize the amount of time you have to farm when you're ready, the better off you're going to be. And these are going to be required. So I wouldn't tell you to shift focus in any way, shape, or form. But if you have, a spare 50K gold lying around, it's worthwhile to go ahead and pick up, one of those tachyon pieces or, whatever else it is that you may wind up needing to be able to get your characters there as you progress. Because, one of the things you mentioned, Dixon, was that you're working on, your Ultima 7 teams. And at 2.5 million, I'm really surprised to hear that you're kind of in Ultima 7, because like I'm a 4 million character power, and I'm lucky to get 6 or 7 nodes into actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I'm lucky to get 5 or 6 nodes into U7 with my team, and these guys are all like level 75 T13. So I don't know. It's you do need. We're probably going to need Gear 14 to complete Ultima 7, no doubt about it. But I think right now War is a better place to focus, because War gives you better rewards on a daily basis and is going to give you more of what you're going to need in the future.
Not to mention, it seems like they always push war for characters anyways. So like that seems where they always push, like that's like their big game mode now is war.
Yes.
So I think it's fair to say that, yeah, focusing on something like that is probably the most important thing. It also, I forgot to mention this, but it also has a lot to do with the rewards, because we still don't really know 100% what the rewards are going to be.
Right.
So until we know the rewards, I mean, that's probably the biggest difference maker. I mean, if it's what we saw in the data mine, if it's actually that, I just don't care.
Yeah, I also don't
I
care.
will get to it when I get to it at that
Right.
point. If it's a game-breaking character, then I might have a little more pep in my step towards it, but I would still pretty much keep the game plan of focusing on the stuff I need most from the game modes that I'll be doing the most.
Yeah, I absolutely 100% agree with that one. I think that it's the best way to go. When you look at this, for you, Ixon, I would tell you, like I said, DD3 should not even be on your roadmap. If even I don't remember if Hebrew, did he have Ultron already? I don't remember if he mentioned that or not.
I don't think specified, but no, I don't think he did.
Yeah, I mean, because at 2.5 million, I could see where, unless you've been like super focused and know exactly where you're going at, it can be hard to get there, because uniques. I mean, just ask Muggin. It took him forever, and he was a beta player, even though he did take a little bit of time off. It still took him forever just to get the random uniques that he needed to get in there. So. And it's crazy to me, by the way, just going to throw this out there. I've just hit 660 days in game. So it's crazy. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm at 663 days in game. So to hear somebody say 400 days.
I mean, I suppose I'm
like,
not too far behind you.
No, you should be around 630.
Yeah, I suppose I'm not too far behind you. Say it one more time.
I figured you were around 630. right now. You should be around 630.
Yeah, exactly. I don't have my phone near me right now, but yeah, since I think you started playing about a month before me because you were towards the tail end of beta, and I was just global launch.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. That would be absolutely correct. So, all right. So that's our listener survey. Don't forget to give us some feedback. We've set up some new channels on the Discord server where you can, give us some feedback about your survey. Your thoughts on the survey. We do have Corsi now as our survey master, so feel free to let him know what you like, what you don't like, if there's improvements that you feel that can be made. I like what he did with the survey this time around. I thought it was absolutely fantastic, and nothing but kudos to him for stepping up and taking part of this. I just noticed at the very end, he even put in a keep fighting true believers. Well done, Corsi.
Yeah.
I did not see that when I took the survey.
Yeah, no, he did an amazing job with it. Plus, also, for if anyone has like specific questions that they do want to be on the next survey, don't forget to leave them there. And if there's enough demand for him, he'll probably put them in.
Yeah, absolutely. So for those of you, I forgot to give the information out at the beginning. I'm sorry. For those of you that may not be on our Discord, you can join us by going to discord.me/Ravager report, and that should create an invite for you to get to our server. If not, you can hit up myself or Hebrew. I am Dorian Blade #6090 on Discord, and would be more than happy to send you an invite. So let's see. We're going to come back to the survey because we do have a lot of questions to ask the host. We're not going to get to all of them today, but really appreciate all the responses that are coming in here, even the criticisms and those telling us how to podcast. We appreciate it. They're always worth a chuckle. So we're going to get into the update from Friday. So there was a new strike time. I have not had a chance to watch it yet. Hebrew has. It focuses on Crystal and Karnak. So we've got new Inhumans coming, Hebrew, since you've seen this?
Yeah, we have, it's been a couple days since I've seen it, but yeah, we have Crystal and Karnak coming, which was interesting. They released that during the Meet the Dev section. They didn't, if I remember correctly, they didn't really give a lowdown on the kit, or maybe they did. No, I don't think they did. If I remember correctly, though, they did show a little bit of animations from them, like a little bit of gameplay. But yeah, man, I really wish I would have remembered if they mentioned something about the kit or not. But either way, yes, they did. They did. Because Crystal, if I remember correctly, is a defender. A protector that. No, you know what? I don't remember.
Well, you can watch the strike time video. So a little bit of lore. Crystal is the sister to Medusa. She's a psionic inhuman, and Lockjaw is actually her companion that she's basically kind of loaned to Miss Marvel. Actually, Lockjaw is kind of his own being, but Lockjaw and Crystal were always seen together as companions. And then Karnak is the cousin to Black Bolt, and he's a martial artist. He was never exposed to Terrigen because his older brother was exposed to Terrigen, and it was so painful for him that his parents refused to let him go through it and sent him away to a monastery where he learned to basically spot opponent weaknesses. That's kind of his special thing. So he's a martial artist. So we get another martial artist, which is very nice. And the flood of characters continues.
Pretty much.
The
I was not
nonstop flood of characters.
Yeah, I was not expecting them to announce 2 new characters whenever I watched that strike time. That's for sure.
Yeah, oof. Characters are not content. So, so let's talk about Black Bolt. So leading the way for the new Inhuman team is their legendary blaster, Black Bolt. Blackagar Boltagon aka Black Bolt, is the king of the Inhumans and can harness the power of free-floating electrons in the form of his sonic voice. Black Bolt can level mountains with a whisper and erase entire planets with a scream. And this royal scream is a game changer in Marvel Strike Force. On top of clearing enemy positive effects and applying disrupt to summons, Black Bolt blocks revive on enemies he's eliminated. Bow down to Black Bolt's royal kit. He's Hero Cosmic Bio Blaster Inhuman. His basic is going to be Royal Strike. If the primary target has slow, flip 2 negative effects on self. Attack the primary target and clear 2 positive effects. His special is Staggering Voice. Attack primary target for damage, and the attack is unavoidable. And then his ultimate is Sonic Scream. Attack primary target for damage. And then finally, his passive, King of Atalan, is characters killed by Black Bolt cannot be revived. When an enemy drops below 25% health, attack that enemy for damage. If that enemy is villain tech, attack that enemy for more damage. On enemy summon, apply disrupted and clear 3 positive effects on the summoner. Gain resistance. Inhuman allies gain resistance and gain 50% max health. You can just call Black Bolt anti-Ultron.
That is exactly what it is.
I mean, Black Bolt's designed with one purpose in mind, and that is to take out enemy Ultrons. It is...
He's also anti-Nobu.
He is anti-Nobu, and he's anti-Minerva. So I guess there's that.
He's definitely, that's one of the really important ones. Nobu was a joke, but
yes.
Anti-Minerva is big.
Well, yes, anti-Minerva is big, but it's even more anti-Ultron. I mean, he's
of course.
Specifically, I mean, on enemy summon, apply disrupted and clear 3 positive effects on the summoner. I mean, that's got Ultrons written all over it. You know, if the enemy is 100%. Villain tech, you know, that's both Ultron and Minerva.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I don't know why I keep thinking she's skill, but she's tech. So I mean, yeah, it's like we created these OP characters, so we need to create a character, which happens in these games. It absolutely does. You know, you'll get a character, then you'll get a counter, and you know you get this circle going on round and round and round. Honestly, you know, I kind of make fun of it a little bit, but I'm not upset that this is an Ultron counter.
I mean, an Ultron counter had to come one way or another,
yes.
So I'm not upset about it either. Like, he's a very good character, and he's definitely. I mean, we've needed something to go against Minerva and Ultron for a while, so I'm glad that this gets like a 2-for-1 basically, and helps that out. So I think this is a good thing.
Actually, I want to respond to something that Muggin said here in chat. He says, don't forget how he counters Phoenix as well, which is incorrect. He doesn't counter Phoenix because Phoenix is not a
summon.
It's not a summon. So, Phoenix is a summon, not a revive.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so he doesn't counter Phoenix. Because Phoenix is a summon. So Dark Phoenix is a summon, not a revive. Now, the question is going to be, when she summons, will she get disrupted? Which isn't really going to affect her too much because she doesn't get... I can't remember, because usually when she comes in, I just hit auto and walk away. I'm not kidding. On my arena fights now, basically... I throw my opener and I apply disrupted to Ultron. I hit auto and I just come back to a win screen.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
But obviously, clear 3 positive effects on Summoner. Well, that won't affect Phoenix because she's dead. So I guess the question is going to be whether or not she's going to get the disrupted. But I don't think that's going to make a huge difference to her kit. So, yeah, she can't get the Colossus buffs, but I don't really run Colossus in Arena. So I guess in War that can make a difference, but you know, unless you've got a really big Colossus, you're not really too worried about that because you're not really running Colossus in Arena unless you've got him really high up. So yeah, I don't see this so much against Phoenix. I mean, it'll have some impact obviously, but not nearly the the direct counter to Ultron and Minerva.
Right. And just like a few things I want to mention about Black Bolt also that I feel like is fairly important is that his assist and counter will clear 2 positive effects. It's a 250% damage, but most importantly, it clears 2 positive effects, which is pretty big.
That is huge.
And also, his damage is really high.
Are you looking at MSS.GG?
Yes. Yeah, so just to give you a comparison, so Rocket is 20k damage at 7. This is 7 red stars, 7 gold stars. It doesn't matter, but it'll give you the difference between the two, basically.
Wow.
So Rocket's 20k, and he's 22k base damage.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, considering those huge percentage damages that you see that he has for pretty much all of his abilities, that's monstrous. So
yeah,
he's going to be doing a lot of damage.
He really, really is.
Yeah, if you imagine AoE 500% at 20k or whatever red stars you have, Matt, but basically like the strongest blaster. I guess he's the strongest blaster right now, not including Cyclops.
Yeah, I mean Ultron doesn't get red stars.
Ultron's 18k.
Well, that's with red stars, but he doesn't get red stars.
Right.
Yeah, so man, Ultron at that is hitting for a ton of damage.
Mm-hmm.
That is crazy. Yeah, my Ultron's only 11k damage right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, that's insane.
So yeah, Ultron at 7 stars would get almost 19k damage.
Yeah. So Black Bolt's definitely going to hit really, really, really hard. I mean,
yeah.
He's designed to one-shot everything on the planet, which is fine. I mean, he's one of the most powerful characters in the Marvel Universe.
Is he really?
Yeah, I mean, he disintegrated his parents with a whisper, right? He can destroy.
So does he never talk to anyone?
No, he never talks.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, Black Bolt cannot talk because he will kill when he talks.
My God. Yeah. I wonder how long it takes you to figure that
out. He figured it out.
Life. But I mean, yeah, going through life without ever talking, that's terrible.
Yep, it is. Muggin asks, he can speak telepathically to someone, though, right? Yes, he can speak telepathically. And okay. I don't think Medusa has telepathic power, but they may have been together so long that they just kind of know what each other is thinking. But she might very well be a telepath. I know she's got psychokinetic, but I can't think that she can do anything else. I know she got control of her hair, so they did sign language in the show. So that makes sense. I watched a couple of episodes of the show. I couldn't really get into it too far, but and for those that don't like the clicking while I'm searching things, I apologize. I'm trying to cut down on that. Let's see here. So next up, was there anything else that you want to talk about with Black Bolt?
No, that's pretty much it. We know why he's here.
Yep, we know why he's here. We know he's coming from a legendary event. We know we're going to need Asgardians to get him. Hopefully they do make Heimdall, Hela, and Sif farmable to get him. If you're not going for the Heimdall campaign event, I really would encourage you to do it. 5-star feels like it may be accessible, but don't count on it. I've been hitting it every day and getting as much as possible, and I am currently sitting at 30 of 80 shards. So, I've had some really bad drops recently. Mm-hmm. Next, coming up is we've got Yo-Yo. So, slingshotting into battle after Black Bolt is Yo-Yo, the Inhumans' lightning-fast protector. Yo-Yo can travel at superhuman speeds for the length of a single heartbeat before snapping back to her original starting place. Instead of being a big, bulky protector, Yo-Yo uses her speed to defend her Inhuman or Shield teammates. Although she doesn't have a taunt, Yo-Yo protects allies by granting them evade and defense up, applying offense down to enemies each turn, and granting ability and energy with her ultimate attack. Snap back enemy attacks with Yo-Yo. So she's going to be Hero, Global, Bio, Protector, Shield, and Human. So her basic is Rapid Strikes, where she will attack the primary target for damage and clear counter. She'll gain an assist from a random Inhuman ally. That attack cannot be counterattacked. Her special is going to be Flurry, and attack the primary target for damage, and bonus attack 2 more times for damage. Repeat this action on 3 additional random targets, and the attack cannot be counterattacked. Her ultimate is Run the Gauntlet, where she attacks all enemies for damage, grants 1 ability energy to all Inhuman allies. And then her passive is Swift Protector. So on enemy turn, if this character has no other protector allies apply offense down, it cannot be dodged. On ally, non-minion, shield, or Inhuman turn, chance to apply evade to that ally. And then on spawn, apply defense up to all non-minion, shield, and Inhuman allies. Gain dodge chance, and then gain focus per non-minion, shield, or Inhuman ally. So, Hebrew, were you a fan of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. TV show?
No, I never watched it, actually.
Okay, so that's where I know Yo-Yo from. I don't know if she was ever actually in the comics or not. I don't know if the show created her or they pulled her from if they pulled her from comic books. July 2018. So yeah, she was in the comic books. So I thought Yo-Yo was okay. I mean, her kit sounds it's different. It's a different way to doing a defender.
Yeah.
In game. I mean, evades can be just they're brutal to watch sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I think that she's a pretty interesting character. I like it when it's not like either you don't have a protector and it makes up for it in some other way, kind of like what you have with Supernaturals. Right. I really like how they worked that there. They worked it all with like speed basically and everything like that and heals. I really like that idea, and this one it's kind of like not a straightforward protector, and so they're kind of going with this evade and defense up thing, with particular circumstances applied. So I'm a fan of it. I think it's anything that's a little more interesting and a little more unique than just the standard recipe. I'm a fan of. That being said,
She gets a 25% dodge chance.
Yeah. Just like a baby Spider-Man, basically. Yeah, I think that she's going to be. I don't think that she's particularly amazing or anything, but I do think that she's a for sure solid Inhumans champion because of her passive. Everything else is kind of meh to me.
Have you seen her assist counter info on MSF.GG?
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's a like not written correctly or what, because I feel like that might be a typo, because it says it clears 1,000 positive effects,
which seems a
which means it'll
odd.
Clear. Yeah, exactly. I think it. Yeah, I'm not sure. I guess that would mean obviously that it would just clear all effects. Period.
Yeah, but see, there's nothing in her kit that. Yeah, but there's nothing in her kit that kind of makes that make sense.
That makes sense. I agree with you. That's why I think it's a typo of some kind.
Yeah, well, I think they get these from the data mine, from the game files. So I have to reach out and see, because that does seem really odd for that to have clear 1,000 positive effects.
Yeah, so I'm thinking that that's a typo of some kind, but. For everything else is why I'm focusing on everything else. Her abilities are kind of meh, but the her passive is where she actually is pretty good, and so she's got a good amount to offer there. So I like that.
Yeah. So we'll see how she's probably just gonna be a blitz character. We're seeing a huge influx of inhuman characters. So I mean that's fine. Inhumans been a team that's been highly left out in the cold because Quake's been one of the best characters in the game she was one of the best characters in the game for a long time.
Yeah.
And she's still very good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that she's not. It's just that she's been outclassed by so many other characters at this point. But I think seeing some Inhumans come in is really nice. I'll be honest with you. I don't know if I had to choose between Yo-Yo and Miss Marvel. I'm probably sticking with Miss Marvel.
Yeah. I'm interested to test her out just to see how well she actually does work in the field. But Miss Marvel is such a good protector.
She really is. And
yeah.
There is a case to be made to run Yo-Yo instead of Miss Marvel, and that's really her passive, which is on enemy turn, if this character has no other protector allies, apply offense down, and that happens on enemy turn per enemy turn. So that is nice.
Yeah, I mean it's really only her passive that's like really good. Everything else is kind of lackluster. I mean, I wouldn't say like totally lackluster, but it's very average at least. But it's that, and then I think the biggest one is when an inhuman ally drops, or a non-minion shield drops below 50% health, apply defense up. That's pretty big.
Yeah, that is pretty big. The dodge, the dodge chance.
The evade.
The evade is huge. I mean, it's only a 50% chance, but still, that's better than nothing. And that dodge, man, she comes with a base 25 dodge chance. So she's going to go to a 50% dodge chance. Ugh. I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah.
That's gonna be really brutal.
Yeah, but I mean, we'll see how it works in the field.
Yeah, I mean, she's just slightly less than Spidey. Spidey's a 55% dodge chance.
Yeah, that's why I said she's gonna be like a little baby Spidey for hitting at least.
Yeah,
I think
she's just like she's just like Vision.
Yeah. I do wonder what her health is compared to some other protectors, though.
Her health is. Wait, hold on. I mean, she's only 100. She's got 174k health.
Right. Yeah,
so
I'm gonna compare that.
Horrible. If we compare that real quick to
compare
other
her to the
though,
Invisible Woman.
She's really towards the bottom of the health list. I mean, she's just slightly better than Cap.
Yeah, I figured that would be the case.
She's slightly better than Cap, but she's got that dodge chance. She's the only protector with dodge.
Yeah, that is a good point.
So that's gonna increase her longevity there a little bit, but you really leave it up to RNG with that. Her armor's light. She's on the lower end of the armor spectrum. She's not as bad as Invisible Woman, who, holy crap, only has 4,771 armor. That's horrible. But she's not much better. She's only got like AK armor. So, her kit is really going to revolve around that dodge and evades and things of that nature. And I stand corrected. Hand Sentry does have a 5% dodge chance.
There you go.
My bad.
Yeah, how dare you forget that?
How dare I forget that Hand Sentry has that dodge?
Exactly.
Oh, that's crazy. By the way, quick sidebar. Lady
Mhm.
Sif has a better block chance than Captain America.
That's pretty sad.
She's got a 35% chance to block. Cap's only got 25.
Yeah, that's pretty sad.
And she gets plus 10% for each Asgardian ally. Gain
Ugh.
35% block, gain 15% block amount. So, wait, she gets over 100% block chance. If she starts
Really?
with 30, if she starts with 35
Mm-hmm.
and then winds up with 35, there's 70.
Mm-hmm.
And then gains 10% for each Asgardian ally. Well, there's like another 40, 50 if it counts the undead guardian.
Mm-hmm.
So she's at like 115 to 125% block chance.
Hmm.
Unless I'm not sure. I'll have to take a look at how her kit works. If it, guys, I apologize for segue. I just saw that and I'm like, well, that seems crazy amazing. If that's
Yeah, you're
if
right.
that's true, that
If
is
that's if
crazy. And she may be one of the best defenders in the game.
yeah.
So her kit, I'm looking at it right now. So because I've got her, her passive is at level 4. She's only got a 25% block chance, right? So you got to pay the T4 to get the 35% block chance.
Right.
And her character kit, looking at her block chance, her basic block chance is 25%. At
Mm-hmm.
I've got her at 2-star tier 10.
Mm-hmm.
So so I bet you that block chance is based off of her passive.
Right.
So it's not going to be over 100%, but it'll be like 85%. Depending. It'll be 75 to 85% block chance.
Still pretty good.
It is fantastically good. So yeah, that is absolutely crazy. I'm not gonna lie. If that's the way that block chance has always worked, I did not know that till today.
Mm-hmm.
But that's yeah,
That's pretty big.
that is really big. So she's gonna get 35% base if you put into the passive, and then another 40,
Mm-hmm.
50 if they count Greg.
Wow.
Yeah, so she's going to have a 75 to 85% block chance.
Mm-hmm.
And then she reduces by 25% her block amount.
Right.
So, yeah, that's still pretty crazy.
Yeah, that is still pretty big for sure.
All right.
And I will say, just to go back to, because I just spent a little bit of time looking at Crystal and Karnak,
Yeah.
if I can say a few things on them. So Crystal is a blaster. So she's going to be doing the blasting in the squad, the Inhuman squad. But one of the most important functions of her is actually she's kind of a flex character. Whenever allies drop below 50% health, she gives a heal.
Oh, that's
So
nice.
that's gonna be pretty important to how the team works. So that's Crystal, and there wasn't a whole bunch else about her kit. For Carmack, he's going to be the controller, and he's going to be doing a lot of like debuffs to the enemies and things like that with his pressure point system that he is. Apparently, he's not like a mutant or he's not like anything special. He's not an Inhuman. Like he doesn't have like special powers.
Right. He
He's
was
just
never
like you said earlier. He's a
yeah,
monk that just knows his shit.
Yeah, he was never exposed to the Terrigen because his older brother was put through Terrigenesis, and it was so painful for him that his parents were like, no.
What did his brother get? Who
I
is
can't
his brother?
remember.
All right, no need to look for it or anything, but
I'm not. I don't
Yeah.
remember.
okay, yeah. Usually, whenever you don't remember something, you immediately look it up. But yeah, so that's the situation. Also, Quake. I don't know if this is already in there or not, but apparently whenever I don't remember if it was Yo-Yo or Crystal is on the team, but whenever one of them are on the team, I think it's Yo-Yo. Uh, she applies an extra slow or something. There's some kind of synergy there. I was listening to the video whilst listening to you, so it was hard to concentrate on both at the same time.
That
So it was
explains
something
the yas and the uh-huhs.
I was trying to do two at the same time. I still heard everything that you said, but it was kind of like a base level response because I was trying to concentrate on this too.
Oh, I get it.
So
I do it to you all the time.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, so just trying to cover all the bases there.
Makes perfect sense.
Actually, Quake's updated situation. It sounds like you're doing that right now, in fact.
No,
But
not really. I
no?
mean, I may or may not be, getting Invisible Woman's, up to tier 12, but
There we go. Yeah, I knew something else was going on.
I'm still listening to you responding.
Uh-huh. Let me go check. I want to see if Quake
Updated in game?
is updated at least on MSFGG because I don't have my phone next to me right now. Jeez, this system. My gosh.
I don't see anything here.
I believe it was in her
Yeah.
path.
Oh, wait. If Coulson or Yo-Yo is an ally, apply slow to primary target and secondary targets.
There we go.
So, yeah, she's been updated. Her kit's been updated to include Yo-Yo on her Shockwave.
Yeah. So that's there. That's pretty good. Overall, it seems like the humans are actually going to be a pretty good team, especially with the.
I wonder if they're going to be your raid team.
I don't. It depends on how strong the heal is, honestly.
Yeah.
How strong the heal is from Crystal, because that's what the sustainability is what makes or breaks a raid team. And I mean, they have. I still kind of have a question mark up about Yo-Yo and her protection. Like on paper, it looks like it will work pretty well, but I just need to try it out in the game just to see. But yeah, other than that, I mean, that just prolongs the amount of time you have before you die. But the heals is what I need to keep my team rolling. So
right.
If she has a good amount of heal, it'll come around often enough every single time whenever someone drops below 50%. So that's good. But yeah, I want to see what the heal is, because if I'm just barely keeping above 50% on a lot of people, I'll get bursted down still. So
yeah, that's not good. You got to stay. You gotta have more than just that 50%.
exactly. So yeah, that's those characters.
So moving on, we're going to talk about milestones for a bit. So we are currently in the middle of the Orb Avalanche milestone, and that is running for at time of this recording for roughly another 6 days. So it's about a week long, which isn't bad. The Orb Avalanche milestone, you rack up milestone points by opening select orbs to earn character shards, snow globe orb fragments, and more. Which I don't care about. That snow globe orb is just. I guess it's good for newer players, but for people with more established rosters, it's just so bad. And you're only getting like 3 every time you open one up. So let's see. Shovel up any of the following orbs to earn points: the basic, the blue gear, the purple gear, the ability, the training, the blitz, the premium, the red star, the raid, the kingpin vault, the orange gear raid, the gold, the ultimates, the mega, and the legacy 1. So don't spend currency. If you want to save up or open up some saved orbs, by all means be my guest. But personally, I think they're doing this to deplete people's orb resources, because the rewards for this have not been bad. I've been opening up orbs. I don't save orbs. I'm not a hoarder. But even I've gotten to like milestone 16 just naturally playing the game. I think I may have saved for a day or two before going in, right? The rewards aren't horrible. Like at 16, I'm getting 15 Ghost Rider. At 17, right. I'm getting a 3 red star Elsa.
Right.
Then it goes to Brotherhood, then the Fantastic Four. than some other. Like if you get to milestone 34, that's 20 Captain Marvel shards. That's kind of fantastic.
Yeah, if only it was good.
And then at the
Oh, sorry, Captain Marvel. I was thinking Captain America for some reason.
Yeah, no, Captain Marvel.
Scratch that. Captain Marvel's a god.
At milestone 35, you're getting 5 Namor red stars. That won't help the person that just got 7 red stars.
7 red stars.
Somebody in our server. Let me pull up who it is. Oh, Locris. I'm so sorry, Locris. Got 7 red star Namor. So yeah, that's a feel bad moment. It's a thing. It's a thing. So, I mean, look, the milestones are worth it. And then when you get up into like the top end, right? So 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, they're giving you all these, the mini uniques, that you need to get to tier 14. They're giving you like 25. They're giving you 25 of those, and they're giving you some orange gear on top of it. So those are good. So I'm not going to sit here and say don't open your orbs, especially if you want to get into like gear 14, as soon as possible. That definitely, if you've got enough to get that high, but I would caution you. I have a feeling that that they're doing this to clear out the stockpile that people have built up, so that they can start introducing characters back into these stores.
I would agree. I think that they are there's a plan here. I fully agree with that. But I do want to point out one interesting thing. Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't this the first milestone that we've had that gives out the rewards of red stars, like specific character red stars?
Yes.
So that's a pretty interesting thing that they just introduced with that. And I'm glad that they're doing it. Yeah, I think that's obviously our biggest thing is the bottleneck the natural bottleneck that comes with red stars, and gating people and content potentially. So them giving out red stars, we haven't seen any like crazy high ones. The Namor was 5, right?
Yeah.
I mean that's pretty big.
You get is it 3 or 4 Elsa? Hold on. I thought it was
3 Elsa. You said.
I've already got 3 Elsa. That sucks.
Yeah, but either way, one way or another, it's at least more credits. But being able to potentially like target some characters that they release, if they're going to use this as a new reward metric, I'm a fan of that.
Yeah. Hey, look, the more you want, the easier you make it for us to quote unquote farm red stars, the better.
Exactly.
Red stars are the biggest stopgap in the game. So. Grim, you're the type of player so Grimnos says getting there. He's at 2495 points. So he's almost hit 2500. And I hope you don't feel bad when they release Sif to, the raid store or the blitz store, and you've depleted all your orbs. That's the only thing I would worry about, right? And that's the one I'm not doing, is I'm not spending credits. I'll use depleted orbs, but I think they want people to kind of spend those credits too. And if you try to push to 40, you're probably going to have to. So
yeah.
I look, like I said, I think the rewards are great. I'm not saying don't open your orbs. I'm seeing people come in and say, hey, I think the rewards are great. I agree. I think the rewards are absolutely awesome, but I just would caution, because I think that there's an ulterior motive here, that they're trying to deplete stockpiles so that they can release and do things. So,
yeah, it seems like there's always a play
right
that they have. They're showing you one hand, which admittedly, like you mentioned, the rewards are very good for this. And I like the new introduction of red stars with it too. Like, I have nothing but like good things to say about this milestone reward. Like, for sure, all good stuff. But
yeah,
I do feel like there is something potentially coming around the corner that they're doing this for.
But I see something like an Elite. I'm curious to know how long you've been playing the game. 3100 still have all raid orbs. See, I don't understand the why you would hoard all this stuff. I feel like you hurt yourself in the long run by saving all this stuff rather than opening it up for the resources. So maybe there's just something. Maybe you're at a different part of the game than I am. So, um, I don't know, but I don't hoard anything because I need the resources. I need to be able to get my guys up there. I open blitz orbs because you can get the ultimate orbs and or you get the gold. The raid orbs because you need the gear. So I just don't understand that. So, but you know what? That's the beauty of these types of games is that they are resource management games at their core. They're a resource management game, so it's just different thoughts of how to manage your resources. So, yeah, I think something's coming though. I wouldn't be surprised to see Heimdall and or Sif go to a store. Boy, I really hope not. One of them's not War Store, but one of them will be War Store. One of them will be, and then I'm gonna have to have make a hard decision there. So, but for an encore, you will strike down foes in the name of godly milestones during the battle for Jotunheim. For this limited time event, accumulate points by using Asgardians in combat and earn milestone orbs and gear orbs. I'll look forward to that one.
Yeah,
I'll definitely look forward to that one because the Asgardians are a very fun team to use, and I really enjoy what they bring to the table. Now, I don't think we know who tonight's Blitz character is going to be, but they have announced some changes to Blitz. Now, these are probably only temporary, but just in time for last-minute holiday supply store shopping is the Gold Conquest Blitz. Earn up to 4 gold orbs in this 24-hour Blitz nugget. But don't rest when you've got your gold because immediately up next is Gear Strike Orange. Start your progress toward Gear Tier 14 and Dark Dimension 3 by earning up to 5 orange gear raid orbs with his one-day Blitz. When you've got your fill of gold and gear, a second run of Premium Orb Blitz is up next, followed by individual character Blitzes for Sif, Graviton, Doctor Strange, and Falcon. So here's what's happening, guys, okay? We are going to see, tonight we'll see the gold. Tuesday night or Christmas Eve, we will see the Gear Strike Orange. And then Christmas Day, we will see the Premium Orb Blitz.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then we'll see Sith on normal cycle starting Thursday.
Yeah.
So I would imagine tonight we're going to see, so starting at 7 p.m. tonight, Monday, we'll see the gold. Then we'll see the Strike Gear Orange on Christmas Eve, and then the Premium Orb on Christmas Day. And then Sif will start again on the normal time on Thursday night, reset.
Right.
So I like that. And you know what? I'm okay. So I'm actually kind of torn here. I like the fact that they're giving us this gold blitz. I feel that 4 gold orbs, okay. That means I get another 400,000 gold.
Right.
But I do like the fact that it's not something you have to go like super hard after if you don't want to. I mean, if you because I mean this week is going to be a lot of family time. I've already put LOAs in basically for all my games saying, hey guys, look, it's Christmas. I'm on vacation. Don't expect much of anything from me at all.
Right.
I'll log in. I'll probably do my little things. I'll probably hit the raids every once in a while. But other than that, don't expect much participation from me. It's Christmas week. I mean, I don't think there should be huge participation. I would have preferred, or I would have liked them to say, hey, look, here's a base character that nobody really cares about, or hey, we're just gonna stop blitzing until Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to have engagement of some kind. So I don't mind.
Why would you do it just on Thursday?
Huh?
Why would you do it just on Thursday?
don't think I understand your question.
You said just don't want to blitz on Thursday. Is that what you said?
No, they could have also said, "Hey, we're not going to have any blitzes over Christmas until Thursday, which is the 26th."
But then they'd have to do that for all the holidays. I mean, you, you can't single out as a company. Like you can't single out Christmas without singling out all the other ones too.
Well, but you got to think though. I mean, but it's not just Christmas. It's there's Hanukkah going on right now. Isn't Kwanzaa going on around this time as well? So,
I have no idea, but all I know is that it's probably a bad idea to target as a company. I certainly get your reasoning behind it for sure. It's probably just a bad idea as a company to target like one specific holiday and say, all right, you're off for this one, because that shows that like you're showing favoritism.
Okay, this company does show favoritism, but we'll not get into that. So,
not religious favoritism though.
Oh, they show social favoritism. That's right. My bad. So anyway, I do like the fact that these seem to be lower key blitzes.
Mm-hmm.
Although I think the gold blitz is probably going to be, probably people might go kind of hard at that one. We'll have to see.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's what we've got coming up. Now, I will tell you that I probably will set alarms for Graviton.
You're probably what now?
Going to set alarms for Graviton.
Oh yeah, me too. I am actually going to go hard on Graviton, like really hard on Graviton.
I mean, if I can get top 2,000 for Graviton, I'll be ecstatic. I really hope though that they if they don't do like the 2 to 5% for Graviton, which I really doubt they're going to, I may just not bother, because the scores are probably going to be so outrageously high for him. Hebrew? Did we lose Hebrew?
Oh, can you hear me?
I can now.
Huh. I don't know how, but I just muted myself somehow. I don't know how long I've been muted.
I think it was right after we talked about Graviton. You're like, you will set it wasn't long at all.
Okay, well, yeah. So I'm definitely going to go really hard at I want to try to get top 2,000. We'll see.
Yeah, I just worry that the scores are going to be so outrageously high.
Yeah. I'm going to give it my best shot, unless it gets absolutely ridiculous. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I think I'm going to shoot for top 2,000.
So I'll be curious to see what they do with Sif this weekend, if it's going to be because I'm not going to be able to really blitz at all this weekend. I'm traveling all weekend for family. So this second run of Sif for me is just bad. Really, really bad.
Right. Especially now that you know that block chance.
Right? Holy crap, that's high. I mean, Captain America's annoying enough.
Yeah, that's true.
She's like Captain America on steroids.
Yeah.
And so the final thing for the blog is going to be the For Asgard. So prep your God of Mischief for the upcoming Black Bolt Legendary event with the For Asgard bonus event. For 24 hours, earn double Loki shards in his Mystic 3/6 campaign and rank up this Asgardian controller. Lastly, because of the holidays, this will be our last blog of 2019. We hope everyone has a fun and safe end of their year. Thank you again for all your passion and feedback this past year. We look forward to making 2020 the most fun year yet. Until next time, good luck, Commanders. So, so we're going to get a Loki, double Loki, which is great. I'm a little worried. They usually do the double events like right before they drop the legendaries.
Yeah.
Which means that if they're going to drop this Black Bolt Legendary within the next week or two, that's really bad.
Yeah, I agree with that one.
That's really bad. I'm hoping this is just a, hey, here's a chance to earn double Loki. But we don't know when Black Bolt's coming. We know he's in this update, and they're already prepping their other update. So I have a feeling
the more I think about it, I think you're right. I think it might be.
That's that. If that is, that's gonna be disappointing.
Yeah, Yeah, I have a feeling that it's going to be, which is going to suck because that means I'm definitely not going to get them. There was at least a chance I might have got them otherwise. But
Well, I
yeah,
mean, if they made Sith farmable, but even then, at 5 stars, you'd need at least a month.
yeah, exactly. You're not going to be able to get it that quick.
For anybody that's in the top 10%, let me say this. If you were in the top 10% of the last Sith Blitz, then, you would probably need, 2 weeks to a month of being able to farm her religiously every day and possibly refreshing nodes if you were on a campaign node or buying to refresh store. Man, if they, I'll be honest, if they release Black Bolt like this, I'm gonna be really disappointed. If he is purely pay to win, that is a complete dynamic shift for legendary characters. They give free to play zero chance.
Yeah,
I'm not saying
this
they should
might be
cater to
super
free to play.
selfish. This might be super selfish, but in a way, if you think about it, it might actually be better. I still hope that they don't do it, but it might actually be better because it will make the amount of people who get Black Bolt even smaller. And I think like normal casual players, especially, that means that it's less competition, less having to go up against people with Black Bolt. So it could kind of work out to be a little bit better if they did do it like that inadvertently.
So,
But yeah,
the philosophy though in these types of games has always been your hyperactive, focused, free to play players may be able to do it, right? Or they may have to spend a minimal amount of money to do it, but it still should be possible.
right.
When it's not possible, like for example, I'm in a beta shard, okay, and I think I've had some shard migrations recently because I've gotten buried from like top 100 down into the 300s within the past 2 weeks, and it's crazy. But for them to basically say, "Man, only the mega whales are going to get them," or only the people that are willing to drop $400 or $500 are going to get him, that's a problem. That is a philosophy shift that, is that now going to be the new norm for every legendary, that free to play will have zero chance at any legendary, especially if it's going to be from characters that were just released? Because that's really bad look on your free to play players.
I agree. I don't want them to do that, nor do I think that they should at all. I'm just saying that it might actually help. There is a large portion of players that it would probably help out if it was like that inadvertently. That's all I'm saying. Because that's less people who have it that they would have to contend with, because they wouldn't be contending with the super top percent anyways.
Yeah, but they're not doing that now. I mean, those casual players that you're talking about, they're probably not competing with the hyperactive free to play or the focused free to play, right?
They might be. That's what I'm saying. I think
that's a minority of quote unquote casual players, because they're going to get buried.
Yeah, maybe.
There's typically it layers, right? You'll have your hyper focused free to play. Now, in Strike Force, it's a bit different because Red Stars really changed the dynamic. You can get really lucky in Red Stars and suddenly be competing with people that been playing 300 days.
Oh yeah, there's massive spikes. Yeah,
Red Stars do change that dynamic, but at the same time, if they release Black Bolt and he is just free to play, or I'm sorry, he is just pay to win and not at least competitive free to play or focused free to play, that's not good. That is a bad direction for the game, in my opinion.
Oh, like I said, I definitely agree with that. I think that no matter what, even if it might be potentially easier to play around if it was like that, I don't think that it should ever happen like that. I think that it's really unfair.
Yeah.
So I really hope that it's not going to be like that. So we'll see though, and hopefully that won't even be the situation, and we're just guessing wrong that it might be at that time.
Yeah, and maybe they're just giving people extra time for Loki shards, because they typically only do the double drops for 24 hours, and I mean honestly, how many shards can you really do in 24 hours? right?
Yeah, before you start screwing over your core reserve.
Yep. So, let's see. Let's move on now. I don't really have much else to talk about from this past week, Hebrew, unless there's something else that you can think of. I think it's time we move into everybody's favorite section. I know one of our favorite sections, the grab bag.
Yeah, I think it's time to go there.
Oh, okay. So there has been a request made. So I'm going to let you take off your headphones.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have a request from who was it here? I want to say it was Riker. Hold on, I'm looking for it here. I think it was in the grab bag. I always lose the grab bags because he didn't post it in the whatchamacallit, patron grab bag. I gotta work around the. There we go. There we go. Okay, so Riker asked last Friday if we can get a Jovenshire impersonation for the holidays. So
okay, I'm gonna take my headset off for a minute.
I'm gonna do a few. He only asked for the known one, but I'm gonna throw a couple in for just for good measure.
Just type for me to come back whenever in Discord whenever it's time to come back. Okay.
I'll do that. I'll absolutely do that. Okay. So, first, the standard intro here. How you doing? Next, we're going to do, for the holidays, Merry Christmas. And then, for 2020, Happy New Year. All right. So, Hebrew can come back now. So, all right. So we got a few seconds of silence there while we wait for Hebrew to come back.
Right.
Hopefully he'll kill that
you're
silence.
Done?
Yeah, all done. I won't murder you with that one. So
okay, good.
So hopefully Riker appreciates that. I gave him 3. I did the how you doing. I did a Merry Christmas, and I did a Happy New Year.
Why you'd ever want that, I have no idea.
Hey,
glutton for punishment, I'd say.
Maybe so. Hey, look, when you're good at one thing, you just basically beat it into the ground. All right, let's move into the grab bag. So, hey, Hebrew.
Yeah.
Hoping the game will improve. Bottlenecks at every corner are very frustrating. How long before I will quit? Not me, the questioner.
I'm betting that you're gonna stay in. Like, I have had so many times, as have you, where we have said it's time to quit. Like, I don't know how much longer I'm gonna last, but we're still here. I'm gonna say that you're gonna hold on for a good while longer.
Yeah, if Red Stars didn't push you out the door, I'm not sure what the rest of this is going to wind up doing. So, for me personally, I don't know. I think it's every other day. I'm out, but
it is. I get the back end of it, so I know. But yeah, it's it's one of those games where, Red Stars dramatically changed my attitude towards this game, hands down. Like, whenever they announced it, I was like, wow, I'm really surprised that they're even thinking about it. And whenever they went ahead and gave the go ahead and didn't listen to not just ours, but literally any content creators' advice on them, on how to fix them, I think that was whenever I was like, okay, this is just, it's not what I thought it was. And so after that, my standards and my bar of expectations for them have been much lower, and I still play the game on a level of engagement that is much more casual. I don't think I'll ever go above that, like to the level that I was before. But I don't think I'm going to stop playing just because it's a fun game and I like the IP. Bottom line, it has a lot of things that I like. So
Yeah, and I make this comment quite frequently that I love the game. I love the mechanics. I love the characters. I love the concept. I just think it's a bad developer. I think that they have made some very poor decisions. I think that they are constantly making poor decisions. I think that they are intentionally trying to drive addiction to the game, where it's that feeling of I got to be in it. I got to be in it. What am I doing right now? Why am I not? What am I missing? Right? But if that hasn't gotten me to quit yet, boy, I don't know. The Black Bolt, if they release Black Bolt the way we just talked about, that's going to be another nail in the coffin. But am I likely to quit? Highly doubtful. Because unlike you, I can't just go casual. I just can't. I'm a competitive person. I'm either all in or I'm all out.
Yeah, I think. Well, and I'm not like super casual. I'm just much more casual compared to where I was. Because before I was I think we were top 20 or 30 alliance. So sorry, my dogs are barking.
Oh, that's okay.
Can you hear them in the background?
Oh,
no?
yeah. Which is
Okay,
fantastic.
sorry.
It's okay.
It's
Not a big deal.
There's a Great Dane and a Pomeranian. So
I'm just happy my lab hasn't gone nuts yet. It's during the day.
But yeah, I think there's a lot there. ISO 8, I think, is going to be very telling about the future of this game. That's the next big landscape shift, I think, that's coming, and I think that'll be pretty telling.
And I think that, look, when we mentioned it when they announced it, but they're saying that they are holding off on ISO 8 and rethinking the whole concept of it was absolutely fantastic.
I agree, but it's still coming nonetheless. And I don't know how much they're going to change and stuff, but we'll see. I can't hit on. They still have one thing that I feel like is a big redemption for them, and not even really redemption, just well done for them. And that was Stark Tech. Remember, everyone thought Stark Tech, we were going to be in a lot of trouble.
Stark Tech is amazing.
They masterfully implemented that. They did such a good job. And I gave them claps for it then. I'll give them claps for it now. I really hope it ends up being one of those things that surprises me.
Speaking of which, my alliance hit 80.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
That's big.
It is big. Now you just got to work on getting enough credits for everybody.
Yeah, it's a shame that Stark Tech gets overlooked now because it matters so it's inconsequential compared to Red Stars,
Yeah, it really is. It's so inconsequential. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
Let's see. Have you tried the Black Desert Online yet?
Yes, I have. I actually made a YouTube video on it. It's a pretty good game.
Yeah, I've heard that.
It's pretty good.
I just can't get into another mobile game right now.
It's a an MMO too, so it's very grindy. I will say that.
Yeah.
It's very grindy.
I don't have time for
but it's also very auto-y. Like you can literally just hit one button the entire time and it'll automatically travel for you and do all this stuff. So that part's really nice. It's a fun game, really super fluid combat style. It has like everything you could ever want, and like as far as like what you can do in the game, which is pretty cool. But it is very grindy.
Which isn't a surprise for any MMO worth its salt's going to be grindy.
Yeah.
Let's see. Is it possible FoxNext is a giant social experiment on us to determine our threshold for self-inflicted suffering? Yes.
Say that one more time.
Is it possible FoxNext is a giant social experiment on us to determine our threshold for self-inflicted suffering? And I read FoxNext as Marvel Strike Force. Yes.
Yeah, I think you get a lot of good data off that, actually.
Yes. Lots of smiles, great content. Thank you and have a blessed day. Thank you, you too. Let's see. If FoxNext gave you a free 6-star upgrade on a character of your choice for Christmas, who would you choose, Hebrew?
It said 6 red star upgrades, so probably Graviton.
Okay.
I think. Yeah, Graviton.
Okay. Character of my choice, I'm going with Ultron.
That's cheating.
If there is no limit, I let you go first.
Fair enough.
Let's see. Hebrew, are the developers idiots or just incompetent?
Yes.
I will say, I will tell you that my saying one or both of those things got me kicked out of the Envoy program. So you know where my thoughts lie.
Yeah, I will say, are they incompetent? Yes. Are they idiots? I really don't think so. I think that they're actually very, very intelligent, but it's all based around making money.
Yes.
I think they're very, very good at making money. So
Yes.
they're intelligent in that way, but incompetent because of so many ridiculous bugs that we've seen, that things just not working compared to other games with smaller teams that seem to always get it right. I have to say incompetent.
Yeah, I kind of have to agree with that. I mean, part of me comes back to the fact that when Seismic was sold off to Niantic and would not work on MSF, we've not gotten anything since then.
Yeah.
And that's been almost a year. So I would say that, Seismic may have been the driving force behind all the content, and Fox Next focused on the characters. So, and I don't count new iterations of old raids to be new content, right? An Alpha 3 to an Alpha 4, or an Ultima 6 to an Ultima 7. I think we're seeing quite clearly that that Fox Next doesn't understand the power curve of games. They don't understand how to create content that is engaging and enjoyable. I don't think there's anybody that can arguably say Ultima 7 is engaging and enjoyable. It's like a kick in the teeth every time you have to run that raid.
It does kind of feel like that.
So I think they don't understand their own game, and they're just kind of throwing poo at the wall to see what sticks.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I say that, and I know it comes across very negative, but I say that because, again, I've been on the inside, and I've seen a lot of the things that go on, and I see some reasonings for some of the things that they do that I wish I could share, and I wish I could give you guys some of the rage that I exploded onto Fox Next with over some of the things that have been said in private, because it's really bad. But
I will say, to your defense, like, regardless of what people, I mean, not that people think badly of you or anything like that, but you are truly a man of the people whenever it comes to putting up a fight for what the community wants. He got into I've seen like clips from not just him, but from so many other people of him yelling at the developers for why this is bad for the community. So I will say, he's definitely someone that's in your corner.
I try. I feel that that's our job as content creators, right?
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people saw us as envoys, and I think Fox Next saw us as envoys to be their shills or to advertise their game for them for free. But for me, it was an opportunity, or what I saw was to listen to what the community had to say, not just our listeners, but Reddit, the Marvel Strike Force Discord, talking to feedback from other content creators, what their community was saying as well. And anybody that listens to this show for any amount of time will tell you I'm a lightning rod. Okay. I'm how is it you put it? I'm a very divisive person. You either love me or hate me. But I'm a lightning rod, and I'm kind of, in some respects, I'm like the Joker from Batman, the Dark Knight, right? I'm like that dog that's chasing that car. I get that bumper, and I just don't know what to do with it. I don't stop, right? I just keep going and going and going, because I don't trust that they understand what I'm saying. So,
right.
I will tell you guys that, anything I ever did in there, it was always to try to make the game better for the community. And Fox Next just didn't want to have any part of that.
Yeah, I kind of stopped on. That's why I didn't get into the Envoy program after the Red Stars thing, where I had sent them pages and pages of feedback and better ways to do it, but still make lots of money. After doing all of that, and having them respond and the back and forth and all the bullshit that you and I went through, Man, I just couldn't take another the Envoy program whenever it came. I was just like, I'm not going through all that again for literally nothing. No.
Yeah.
So more
Speaking
power
of
to you
which-
for actually doing it.
Well, not anymore because they don't listen to me, so they don't care.
Yeah.
Look, they don't look. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. They don't care about the community. They don't care what we have to say. They don't care what we think. They're going
They
based
care about
off
where
of
our money goes.
they care about based off of where our money goes, and they care about being able to show the investors, especially since Disney's basically announced that they're for sale, that they have engagement, which is time in game, clicks in game, sales in game, things of that nature. So these are all metrics that developers use to bring investors into their game or to sell their game. So yeah, like I said, some of the stuff that has been said in there has just been rage worthy. So I don't regret getting kicked out. I've actually been calmer since getting kicked out because it's kind of funny, though. I have heard from people that are still in the program that there's almost no talking in there anymore. So
funny.
I really still feel that the Envoy program was created to bring people in that so they could kind of take their ideas and create their own content. Oh, you mean like Strike Time?
Yeah, they 100% did that for sure.
So yeah, and I don't care what they say or what they think. I really don't care what they're gonna do. Shut down my show. So, speaking,
I do want
of,
to. The next question, I can't believe you skipped over this one, the holiday traditions one.
I figured we had some. We're at 2 hours, and I didn't think you'd want to be here all day.
Well, I don't, but that's a good question.
Okay. So then, the holiday traditions you've created for yourselves and family as adults.
So mine, just because I like mine, I've been doing it for, I want to say the past 5 years, I think. No, maybe 6 years. I get a new onesie, a new Christmas onesie every single year to wear. It has to have the butt flap too. So I do that, and we have a lot of people over for Christmas. So it's always really funny, and I love it. It's hilarious.
Okay, so you're a closet voyeur.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right then. Oof.
If it doesn't have the butt flaps, you're not doing it right. That's all I'm gonna say.
We have stopped trying to do certain traditions. One of them being, we could never wait till Christmas itself. We always gave out the gifts, we always got antsy and gave out gifts weeks early. So
what?
we're
Really?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's hard for us. We don't like waiting. Have you not met me? I'm not a patient person. We are not a patient. We're not a patient family.
With your beliefs and everything, I would have figured for sure that you would have waited.
Well, Christmas is just a day. I love the season. Don't get me wrong.
I mean,
and I love what
right.
it represents. But the presents aren't. I could go into a whole the whole reasoning behind it.
Right, but I just would have figured that you would have been by the book tradition.
No. We're very, in fact, tried to find a way yesterday to give out gifts early. Oh, I love gifts, man. I love gifts. So other than that, no, we don't. Since we moved, especially since we moved to Nashville, we don't have a lot of family in the area.
Okay.
So it's just us. We will be traveling to, my family for the weekend, but we don't really do a whole lot for us right now with the kids. So.
Right.
Let's see. Is there a place to reference the terms and phrases that the hosts use about the game? Some of us are not yet fluent in MSF lingo. Not really. It's just something you just kind of pick up as you go. But most of them are going to be synonymous with garbage. Let's see. If one of you quit the game, would the other continue the podcast? Believe it or not, we've discussed this.
Yeah.
Because I think at one point, both of us were like, I'm done.
Yeah, we haven't really. I mean, I don't think we've landed on a clear answer, but it's something that we've definitely tossed around because we both have been at the edge for quitting at different points and at the same time on a few occasions. So yeah, we've discussed it.
Yep. For Hebrew, I honestly don't know if Hebrew would, because he's got the A&R stuff, right?
Right.
For me, I might, maybe, probably, if I was still here. I don't know, because if I quit this podcast, I may be done with content creation for a while. So, yeah, I don't know. Let's see. What do you feel the longevity of the game is going to be?
It's a tough one. I think it's going to go Contest of Champions route. I think it's going to be around for a good while, or Galaxy of Heroes. Like they all have their ups and downs. I feel like Contest of Champions is actually much more stable than Galaxy of Heroes is.
Yeah, I think Contest Champions about to die though.
Only because I think they have a new game coming out.
Correct. They've got the Realm of Champions, where it's going to be
Yeah.
Battle World.
Yeah, so we'll have to see about that one. But yeah, with Galaxy of Heroes, I just don't see that game dying. I see people leaving over time. I see more people joining. I see it just going up and down. But yeah, I have a feeling it's just going to go like this until Fox next makes another game that's similar, that's also Marvel related, like a sequel, some kind of a sequel.
Yeah, that'll take place in a casino.
Skip the middleman this time.
You know where you are. Now you know where you are. I'm kind of torn on this one, simply because I see them making such bad decisions from time, that it's just, I'm amazed the player base hangs around. Especially the whales. Those guys have got to be frustrated as all get out that a free-to-play player can come in at level 53 and basically get a couple of good red star pools and be dominant. It's just insane to me.
Yeah, I mean, this is not a game I'd wail out on. That's why whenever Red Stars came out, I was just like, nope, the value is no longer there, period. You can't guarantee value. So, this is not a game I'd wail out on. And I'm sure that people that did wail out and kind of went into the sunk cost fallacy, I have to keep investing in order to stay ahead. It's not for me. I bet they're feeling bad right now and not really taken care of by the company.
Yeah, considering what I have heard from back channels from Whale Alliances, they're bleeding players. I've talked to other content creators too, and their alliances are bleeding players, and it's insane. It really is.
Yeah.
Let's see. Can we remind the devs that we're still working on simple things like Blue Gear, Orb Frags, and Alt 7 rewards, and more save team slots? Would love to. They won't listen to me anymore. Not that they were listening in the first place. Let's see. You mad? No. You mad? Let's see. What did you ask Santa for Christmas, Hebrew?
I already know I'm getting it, but it's the Oculus Quest. That's my big thing for this year. Oculus Quest, the accessories, and some games and stuff.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but I won't be getting it. I didn't decide I wanted it until that and a new TV, I guess. I got a 4K 65-inch OLED TV coming my way. But the Oculus thing I won't be able to get until January 15th or so, because they're sold out literally everywhere. And I decided 5 days before that I wanted that to be my big gift. So that's what Santa Claus is bringing me. Sorry, I just saw the check.
Did you see the image?
Yeah, but all right. I got the TV. It was a Black Friday sale, so it was pretty cheap.
Oh man! So it was only $600 instead of $1,200.
Well, it was a little more than that, but
yeah, yeah.
Either way, Can you tell me what time this is so I can cut this out of the podcast?
Nope, you're gonna have to listen back through the whole thing. Let's see. Me. Just some stuff for the computer and for the Xbox. I'm pretty big on gaming stuff, so. And I think the new
is hilarious. I'm sorry, I keep looking at the game. It's funny.
Yeah, I saw that one because I typed in 1%er. That's what came up. One of those that came up, and I'm like I can't stop staring at it.
That is funny.
Okay, I got it. Oh man. Let's see. What would be the last straw Foxnex could do to make you quit the game, Hebrew?
Introduce purple stars.
make vision a requirement for Gambit.
That'd be pretty close. I would probably be pretty upset. I bet, like, I feel like that would be targeted at me.
That would be.
If they did that, yeah.
That's okay. I feel that there's some things that they do that get targeted at me too. So, let's see. In-game players need a way to passively farm blue gear. Any idea if FN plans to make this possible in some way? No. Why would they do that? Yeah. You wouldn't do other ways of farming blue gear, such as energy nodes or whatever. So, rumor has it Cyclops will be a legendary. He's not far off. Any truth to this? No idea. Man, there's a lot of are you quitting MSF stuff. How much longer do you think you will play MSF?
I mean, that means that that a lot of people are thinking about it themselves.
I really do think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Me personally, I'll be playing the game as long as I play the game.
Yeah, it's hard to give an actual like I'm going to quit at this time.
Yeah, because if they keep
just whenever it comes.
If they keep upgrading the time requirements, it's just going to be insane.
Yeah.
That's my biggest fear is that they just keep pushing more and more time requirements because I've started backing off. I have to start backing off. I can no longer put in 6 hours a day on a game. This thing is a part-time freaking job and it's horrible.
That's true. I think that the next like mode that you have to play for your alliance is going to be pretty telling about the future of the game. Because if they put in another thing, like War was the most recent one, where it's like, all right, you have to do it for your alliance, right?
Yep.
And that takes a good amount of time. They need another thing like that, because that's like, like that's how they put more content in. But they need to make it like a super fast mode, like whatever it is. They can't have any of these involved modes anymore that you're required to play in. So I hope that they do bring something else for your alliance, but I hope that it's just a really quick, super simple thing that you can do anytime within 24 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, I have to agree with that. I think that that's going to be very important, that it's just be something that you can do so fast it's not funny.
Yeah.
Let's see. This one's a rather involved question. Let's see how far we can get into this one. If you could reset the whole economy of the game, at what price point would you set a 1-star, 2-star, and 3-star unlock for a character? 10, 20, and 30? Additionally, how much gold would need to be available to be earned per day to meet this demand? Twice as much? 3 times as much? Lastly, if you were to the devs, how would you be able to fix any of this and not anger the long-term players who have been grinding it out while new players enter a better economic environment? So I'm going to answer the last question first. And I think that long-term players would probably be just as ecstatic because they're going to benefit from it as well. Sure, they may have invested more previously, but at the same time, if they're able to invest less going forward, because long-term players should have at least an understanding that game economies change, and typically they change for the better. They become nicer for the short-term players. You look at Galaxy of Heroes recently; they released this thing called the Hyper the hypergalactic bundle or something, the hyperspace bundle, whatever it's called, for like $100, and you get everything you need to go to like get like all the legendaries and stuff. I mean, I don't know the full details on it because I don't play that game anymore, but it's absolutely insane. What you get for 100. And as a person who played for 4 years, I wouldn't be upset by that. You know, if it's bringing people into the game and creates a more diverse playing field for everybody, then I can't think it's a bad thing. Hebrew, what price point though would you? I mean, do you agree? Disagree on the?
Well, I mean, I don't like. I would say that Wales would easily get over it because, as you said, it's spending less for them moving forward. So that's a big thing. But plus, if they're still investing after Red Stars, which was definitely the biggest thing you could ever do to upset the status quo of what you already invested in the game. If they kept moving forward after Red Stars, like lowering prices on future things, I don't think they'd care about in the slightest bit. I think they'd be very happy about that. Plus, as you said, it would inevitably bring more people into the game because it's more free-to-play friendly at that point, and casual, pay-to-win friendly. So I think that will be only pluses for everyone all around. For the price point, I would probably say like for 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, like that price is way too much considering 1, 2, and 3 stars are like not even useful. So I would just go ahead and say for a 7-star character, and maybe this is me being cheaper now. This might be my Jewish side coming out, but I would say for a 7-star character that I really wanted, if I could drop $40, maybe $50 tops, and have them at 7 stars, that'd be good.
It's way too cheap. And that I think is way too cheap. I think 200 to 300 for a 7-star is fine.
I think that is way too much, especially since we're not even talking about red stars. We're talking about just character stars. And
right.
I would say that I'm not going to pay, at least I don't want to pay. And like I said, things might be altered from my point of view after everything that's happened with this game, but
right.
Spending $40 on a virtual character that there's going to be so many of, like tons, huge roster, $40 I think is just fine, considering it's not including red stars at all. I think personally, red stars is what actually makes them very useful, minus a few characters, Ultron. But yeah, so I think that $40 I'd be fine with. When the real question mark is red star pricing.
Right. I just think that 40 is way too cheap. You would flood the market with that character. You're not going to cover your IP costs. I think you'd be surprised. People that aren't willing to spend 200 probably aren't going to be willing to spend 40. So it's you have to find a proper balance point, in my opinion, where the whales don't feel gouged, but maybe you entice a couple of dolphins to step up, right? I think that 40 is way too cheap. I do think that. I think 20 for a 4-star is fine.
Mm-hmm.
So if you take like 20 for a 4-star, which is what, 80 shards?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, it's more than just 80, but if you extrapolate that out over like the 5, 6, and 7, you probably run into the $150 to $200 range easily for that.
See, I just wouldn't want to play, or I wouldn't want to pay $150 for a 7-star character. I'd rather just grind it out over time.
Okay, but we're not the target either.
I was the target, though.
And how much were you dropping?
I mean, I probably dropped I think I said before, it's probably about $400-ish.
Yeah. I think that, I think somewhere in the range of 150 to 200 for a 7-star character is much more feasible economically from a developer standpoint than, $40 for a 7-star.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you know the other thing is that once you have that character at 7 stars, this is one of the things we're seeing in Dragon Champions right now, because in Dragon Champions you can get them that cheap. You can get a 7-star character for $22.
Right. I think that's a little too cheap, but yeah.
And all the gear to take them up. Like I'm level 75 in that game right now, and I just unlocked a character that I can get them. Well, you can't get them all the way to 7-star. I take that back. You used to be able to get the full next star, but you can get 65 shards plus all the gear to get them to level 60 for $22.
Mm-hmm.
And that's insane. And what happens is, like, you can talk to Chew about this too. Once you have all those characters, what are you going to do? When you have that price point set so low for characters, once you're done collecting the characters, you've got them all powered up, and you got all the shards for them. What are you going to wind up doing? There's nothing left to do on that aspect of it.
I think that depends on. I mean, as far as character creation, I mean, you could say that about anyone. Like, throw down as much money as it takes to buy up all the characters. What are you going to do?
But if there are more people willing to do that, then it becomes. It's less about.
Then you make more money.
No, it really kind of. I think you find it probably kind of washes out if you don't wind up losing money.
I think there is a balance point. This is probably one of those questions that we're going to need to move on from. But I think that there is a balance point. I totally understand what you're saying, and I think there is a balance point. But I think that for me personally, like I said, I might be underplaying it just because I'm a little greedy,
right?
Or not greedy. I don't know, but I think that probably like $50 is where it stands for me. That would be my balance point. Like if it was $50, I would buy it. That's what it would be for me. And since I would probably say that if I'm in a game that I really, really like, I would be a dolphin spender. I would say that that's just me. That's all I can use as a sample size, but that's where I'm at.
I mean, look, I dropped 50 on the game not too long ago for Graviton and only got him to 5 stars. So I can't say that I won't do it, but it's something that I only do for certain characters.
Actually, a good example of this is in AFK Arena. There was a character that came out just recently, and he's really, really good, and you can get him up to the highest level immediately. It's King Arthur, and he's $50. He's a $50 buy. I bought him for $50.
Wow, you still play AFK Arena?
I do. I will say it's a very, very good, fun game. Still, it's one of the few games that I have played since inception.
Wow. Well, you know what? We actually have an AFK. We have to have an AFK Arena question. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we'll get there. Anyway, Hebrew, I agree. Do you agree?
With?
I don't know.
Sure.
Okay.
I'm down.
Let's see. Nobody wanted to ask us anything because they didn't know this was a thing until 5 minutes ago. Well, okay then.
There you go.
Are you guys noticing more players in your alliances leaving the game? I've been recruiting for my alliance for over a year now and can't help but notice a lack of power-appropriate players and that many alliances are looking to replace 4+ members due to participation. I feel that's pretty common. I know we've had some issues in our cluster recently. I'm so happy not to be involved in that side of things. But yeah, it's pretty much game wide at the higher end.
I honestly feel like captains need to get a reward, like an extra reward every month, because seriously, the shit that they have to deal with is so bad, especially right now. Like, I do not envy their position in the slightest bit. That's terrible.
Nope, I don't envy them at all, especially when they got to deal with me. Let's see.
Yeah.
If Gambit requires a strong vision, will Dorian gear him? So, yes. The question is, though, will Hebrew gear him? Is this a magic 8 ball?
I mean,
how come not so certain?
I guess I would, but I wouldn't ever use him and I would message Foxnext telling them that my account was hacked and they leveled up Vision,
And then
and
they'd laugh
hopefully
at
I'd
you.
get to keep camping.
Yeah, they'd laugh
They
at
probably
you.
would laugh at me, but I'd do
Yep.
what I could.
Let's see. Will there be a Rose Watch 2020? You know it. Uh, Hebrew.
Yeah.
Will there
Yes.
ever be another AFK Arena pod? Shout out to Ruds missing the AFK content.
um. So I'm not gonna lie, I've debated bringing it back a couple of times because it was a lot of fun. They have a lot of events and they keep things like pretty fresh. So I really appreciate that game. But I I don't know. I'm gonna leave it as a question mark. There is a glimmer of hope for that to come back. So we will see. I'm gonna leave it there.
I think we're only going to take a couple more here. So, Hebrew, do you think that DD3 and ISO 8 will be the death of Marvel Strike Force?
No, not at all. Red Stars should have been the death of Marvel Strike Force. It wasn't, therefore it will live forever.
Oh, my goodness. I have been hoarding T4 ability mats for months and currently have around 1,200. I invested in Shield
My
and Defenders
God.
early on, but with few exceptions, Star-Lord and Rocket, have not used any others. Do you have any suggestions on where to distribute my T4s ignoring red stars? As Guardians, AIM, Supernatural.
I mean, it depends on what you have in your roster and what you use and where your red stars are at. So it's hard to say, but I mean, if there's any, meta teams that you use, for sure, put those puppies in, because if you aren't using them, there's lots of really good T4 upgrades. So if you aren't using them, you're doing it wrong. I got to tell you.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many good things out there to be using them on. It's just, yeah. Ultron, if you have not T4'd Ultron,
Yeah.
buddy, because like Ultron should have been the first on that few exception list. Yeah, there's so many out there. There's a that sounds like somebody in need of a roster review. Send us a message. Let's see. I just want to know when Nova will be released. Yeah, okay. And Nova's, when you say Nova, do you mean Nova the Herald of Galactus, or do you mean Nova from the Nova Corps? That's in like Ultimate Spider-Man. So I had a question for that one. And then, hey, Hebrew, finally, why is Vision so good?
Mm-hmm. He's a monster. He's got ability block. He's got the armor. This is the best thing about him. The starting 2-turn defense up for tech. He's got the debuff or the buff clear. He's all around. He's got tech, which is a super strong synergy. There's just really he's full of pluses. You'd have to be an idiot to not play him.
From the mouths of babes.
Yeah.
Now, for my response, why Vision is so good, it's because they just want to troll Hebrew.
That's probably true.
So, all right.
He used
Hebrew.
to be not very good until that rework, and then I remember I was like, okay, I can stick with this point of arrogance, and then they reworked him, and I was like, shit.
This dude's amazing.
Yeah, damn.
All right, Hebrew. Well, I think we're getting ready to shut down because Muggins come back and asked, "Are you still talking?" So I guess we've gone on long enough.
What's
but
the
before
time?
It's currently 2:30 in the afternoon. But before we go, can you let the paying customers know what they came for? Who you farming?
Oh man, farming the Asgardians right now, trying to get that Black Bolt. So we'll see how that works out. But doing that, also still farming AIM, just a little bit. I almost have everyone to 7 stars, so that's good. And yeah, that's pretty much it. What about you?
Yeah, so pretty much the same thing. I'm farming a lot of gear. trying to get people up. Like I got Invisible Woman to like she's T11 right now. I'm like one gear piece away from getting her to T12 because she is so good in that Ultima 7. She's an amazing legendary. I actually have been running an Alt 7 team that is kind of a take on the Gravitech, but I actually take Minerva out and I put in Invisible Woman instead. I know that sounds a little crazy, but Minerva, she's really only there for me for the revive. She doesn't hit hard enough. Invisible Woman hits for like 20, 30K. Plus, she's got the barrier. She heals. Sherry heals. Scientist Supreme heals. Scientist Supreme's got that built-in chance at revive should somebody die. So I go for the longevity and the sustainability from Invisible Woman right now over the Minerva, revive, because man, the amount of energy it takes to do that takes forever too. So, yeah. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now is I'm farming gear. But Hebrew, I think that's going to do it for this week. Was there anything you wanted to say before we headed out?
Just, the normal thank you guys for showing up, listening live, especially since this was kind of a weird week and we ended up doing it on a different day. And thank you to all of our patrons. We really appreciate it. You guys literally make this show viable. And we just love hanging out with everyone. So yeah, we really appreciate it.
Absolutely. And we do want to thank you for listening to the Ravager Report. You can find us on any and all of your favorite podcast apps or by going directly to your Podbean site at ravagerreport.podbean.com. Don't forget to subscribe and leave us a rating and a review, as it helps us make the show better for you. You can find us on Twitter at RavagerRepo and join our Discord channel at discord.me/RavagerReport. If you would like to help support our show, you can do so by going to patreon.com/RavagerReport, where we have subscriptions starting at $2 going all the way up to $20. And for just $5 per month, you can get early access to the uncut live show a day or two before it's released. Finally, we do want to send a great big shout out to all our listeners and patrons for their continued support. And until next time, keep fighting, true believers.